Mrs. Sheeta, stop sneezing so we can go live now. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about the baseball slate. We're going to try to use this live sim tool from SaberSim to try to assess who's doing well. I can tell you who's not doing well, and that would be username MBHaves. We'll also look at the NBA showdown slate, see who's winning, who's not named MBHaves, because that's a much more accessible pool of applicants. And then we're going to do lineup build for the U.S. Open, because I think I decided I'm going to win that. So I just want to go over my process and a couple of things you can do to maybe improve, but we shall see. I guess first things first, we'll take a look at the baseball slate. First, so we're going to share this screen. This is the relay throw as it's described by SaberSim, this kind of like live sim ranking. So this is kind of cool. It predicts, who's actually going to win, given who they have and who they have left. And now I can also look at my usernames, mine as well. I think would that be here? Let's see. View my entries. No. That would put them on the other side. Let's do what I had before here. So if we go to username MBHaves, you'll see my lineups are not doing well. Well, where are they? They don't even have my own here. I do see them. Everybody updating. I guess mine are probably above everybody else's somehow. You think it'd be nice if I saw my own? It's pretty funny. So you're telling me I cannot find my own lineups, but I can find everybody else's. Well, I know that that's not something that is intended. Well, let's just take a look at it this way. So we're ranking these guys by live sim ROI. That's not exactly what you want to do, right? You want to actually rank them by live projection, which is probably going to be pretty much the same. Considering everybody's in the same amount of money here, but I guess it's because there's like not even anything close to a dupe, I suppose, in his ROI, I suppose. Anyway, so Jay Blake the King looks like he's got the best lineup. And then we're going to look at the actual lineups in the lobby to see what it is. Now, again, my lineups are doing horribly tonight. Let's just pull one up just so that I can pull the lobby up here. So you see all the way at the top, you have, and this is why. So even though he's losing, he's got 12 remaining innings, which puts him in the lead as far as sims go. And you'll see that it's a New York stack. 4 Mets, 4 Yankees, and the Mets scored 10 runs, and I think he had the 4 guys that scored all the runs or got all the production. But it's also making up for the fact that he has a 0 from LeMahieu. But that can happen in baseball, And then the pitching pairing, I don't think there was a world where I would have played too much Sonny Gray at this ownership. So this was a slate that I was going to lose, I believe. And he was, I imagine, the best scorer at 32. Bryce Miller, again, this is always a good position to be in when you're already in good shape and you have the pitcher, Now he doesn't have that win bonus coming to him yet, but he's got a couple more innings. He can rack up points. Let's look at who's actually in first. This guy's got, he's got 2 swipes. Actually, yeah, he's got a Pascantino and Trevino. I think he's gonna need it to hold off Jay Blake. Well, maybe not. I mean, who said that the Yankees have to score anything? But that guy's got Bryce Miller, and that's a problem. Well, is it a problem? So hold on a minute. Let's think about this for a minute. First of all, Dallas is coming back a little bit. They're down only 93-87 as Drew misses a three. Dallas rebound, bring it down. So if I had, KYMC, I mean, this is not too bad. I mean, he does have the lead. Yes, he doesn't have the 4 points of bonus, but you know what? For a pitcher, but who said that Bryce Miller is definitely getting it? What kind of how many pitches does he have right now? Where could I find that? Well, I could find that on ESPN probably, among other places. Ooh, LA is starting to pile up. I might have a couple of LA lineups I can look at, but look at Seattle. What does he have as pitching wise? So he's got he's only 62 pitches. Well, that's tracking for another, probably go another 2 innings at least. If he averages like 15 an inning, so that sounds about right. So he'll be able to get through, presuming he gets. Well, this is a big. He's 3-2 with 2 outs. These are big pitches for fantasy owners. We'll take a look. We'll sweat this on ESPN here. Meanwhile, Kyrie is trying to back. We did get the strikeout. Oh, that's so huge.
What's happening there, Sheets?
Hey. So that's so huge for this guy, the Blake, because now he got to the 5th inning. He's probably going to get another one. But again, he doesn't necessarily have the win set up yet. But he's got all kinds of swipes here with Trevino. They got the top of the 9th. So he's going to have one of these 4 is going to have to do it for him. And it is the bottom of the lineup. I don't know where they're going to be. And here, who else do they have is possibly projecting to score close to them? You have Utica and Grip the King with 177, 174. We'll take a look at them. Yes, these guys are right here. Utica's he's got the Angel guy he's up right now. So this is actually a big one for him. Guess I'll watch this because he's got Miller also. And so what we're doing, Bobby, I'm using this live sim tool for Saber Sim to try to predict who's actually in good shape. So this is the first time I've actually really.
Can we switch it over to the NBA, because that was kind of fun for a minute. I have a unique in the 555, and I was in 4th place, but now I've fallen way back.
Oh,
yeah. But it was cool to have a unique lineup, with a chance.
Well, let's take a look and see if let's see if we can find do the same thing for that. I was just getting used to how to do the baseball one. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to NBA. Which one do we want to look at? The 555 contest?
555 or the other one too?
Well, let's look. Well, since that's the one you brought up, let's look at the 555. And then this ranks everything by live projection, live sim ROI. So how many points do you have right now?
Yeah, I fell back a little bit. So I'm probably down in the 30s.
Well, how many points do you have right now? That's what I'm asking you.
How many points do I have right now? I've got 201.
Yeah, here you are. So you have 201.3. Yeah, so you're only projected to get 233. And
I don't really care what I'm projecting, because they're ridiculous based on the projections, in my opinion, in this specific kind of an instance. In an NBA Finals game with game flow and things that you can't project. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe this is what it's doing.
Well, that's why we're testing it. I mean, this is what they so right now it's continuing to fluctuate, and your live sim average profit is $709 based on how things are going right now.
But the thing that I was trying to say that I liked about the lineup was that at least it was unique in a 555. You know what I mean? Where it was literally in the top 5 forever. If we did this, an hour ago, and I liked, trying to find a way to get unique, which wasn't that unique in the, there's 35 people with the same lineup in the other one. But I don't know. That was what I was trying to say.
Here's another thing that you can do. I'll show you. I'll use the sports projection thing look at uniques. I've never done it for NBA Showdown, but I can do it. So I have to download the I want to see how many people had unique lineups in the 555, for example.
Oh, nice. I love that.
Yeah, so you can definitely do that. So let's save this file. We'll save it into NBA somewhere. Ownership tracking, and then again we had this dude on. I love this site for this exact purpose. They do it for tennis. They do it for League of Legends. They do it for MMA, among other things.
So it's called the DFS called. Yeah, I know this thing.
So let's pull up NBA Showdown and Showdown here. We'll upload this that file, and let's see what information it can glean here. Okay, so now let's go, for example, first to user unique percentage. So these are all the people that had uniques, and it rates them by how many uniques and unique percentages. So nobody had all uniques of people that played like more than one entry or whatever it is. And let's look at yours for example. I can actually pull yours up here. So you obviously one entry under one dupe, one unique, and it could look at your thing. But so it's interesting.
One dupe and one unique.
What's that?
You said the one dupe part. I didn't understand the one dupe. Because you said one dupe.
No. You have one lineup that's unique of the one that you entered.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all I'm saying. Like this one, they had 13 entries, 12 uniques, 5 entries, 4 uniques. So nobody was able, like at the top here, the people that are playing multiple entries, to get all uniques. I wonder how they did. I wonder I always like looking at the lottery, because like you see like to what extent people will go sometimes. And I'm usually a what's the word I'm looking for? An offender as far as that goes as well. So let me pull up the lottery. Where is the NBA? Okay, Showdown. Let's pull down that one. And again, I didn't really play for too much uniqueness, and we'll see like how big some of the dupes are. Like this is also fun to do.
I can't believe how close this game got after what was happening. Like,
well, they got the call from the NBA. I mean,
they called a miss every shot.
Yeah, they have the electric
9 threes in a row. Now you're going to miss 9 threes.
Yeah, and then they have the electric rim. You know how it goes.
Is there any dumber person than the person who believes like it's all rigged person?
Yeah, there are people dumber, but that's one of them.
Can there be someone dumber?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, my feed's got some funny takes in it, man.
No, mine too. But like, I mean, seriously, like I just finished, by the way. It's a great documentary or whatever you want to call it. It's a great mini series about the Hitler. What's it called on Netflix?
Okay.
But it's just fascinating how so many of his things, and I don't want to relate and talk about other things going on currently, just how much you just somebody just goes into a moment and that becomes like a whole thing. And like, I was listening to this whole other Bill Simmons podcast, and they're like, yeah, there's a site out there, probably the biggest one out there, you guys know who I'm talking about, is talking about nonstop. They're trying to make this into the next race war. Like, the Caitlin Clark thing. It's just people get out of hand. It was just funny. It just reminded me of it. Anyway, sorry.
All right, so here's the lottery, and like McLovin, I don't know how he does. He's got 122 unique lineups out of 150 entries. But you look what he has.
In the NBA Showdown.
Yeah.
So he probably locked in on Hauser as captain.
Well, no, but check it out. So you can analyze it. So he's got an average salary of 45.9.
That's awesome.
That's one of the things that'll do it. Is
But I'm curious if we could see like how many Hausers are in there.
Yeah, so you can do that. So let's go into user entry investigation, and we can look up McLovin, right? What's that? That's how you pronounce it? MOKL. Okay,
Yeah.
McLovin.
Really nice guy, by the way.
Yep. And then like even him, by the way, with all those uniques, he's got a bunch of these like 50 duped, 48 dupes, 41 dupes, or whatever it is. And if you look at, by the way, like all like the ones that are unique, look at something. Jordan Walsh. Like I don't even know who that is.
See, that's just to me like a program glitch. Like
Right.
you can't play a guy who's not like eligible because I understand
Alex Fudge.
But I understand the 2K guy thing. And by the way, in a certain blowout format, there's not a way they wouldn't get minutes, but the other 2K guys will get the more minutes. Like there's just no way that works out.
The Drew Peterson, the JD Davidson, the Kieta, I guess. I guess like some of these are just
not that bad because Tillman ended up being the guy tonight. So there's the thought relevance behind it is pretty good. It's just a miscalculation in the program because those aren't going to be the guys. Like we knew Tillman might be the guy. We knew Cornette
but there are also, remember, variations where a 0 is good, you know?
But this is not one of those situations because there's too many players in the 2Ks and 3K range
that were actually going to score.
It's impossible. Okay. It's completely impossible to get a 0 and win in this kind of a night. There's no way.
So that's so people wonder how you get all these uniques. This is what like at least like this one like has guys that were had a reasonable chance to play.
Yeah, I like that. And Hardaway did play minutes, by the way. He had a chance. He just didn't score.
So some of these had shots, Tillman, Kieta, but these are the types of lineups that you get to. I'm like, here's one where everybody played. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what, of course, doesn't have Luka or Tatum, but it's tough. So it's tough.
Right.
It's tough to actually get there. That's the problem.
I had one earlier that it gave me when I was trying to build, and it gave me one with no Kyrie, no Luka, no Tatum, and no Brown. And it was like 9,000 left on the table because I was just like, okay, let's just put no limit on it. I was like, well, okay, that'll be unique,
Like I played 50 lineups and I had like one unique and a couple of these twos, but at least I knew these guys were playing, But
that's not bad though, Sheets. Like
I know that. I mean, I have
Yeah.
So okay. Terrible shot. Okay. So let's take a look. Actually, let's see what the lottery looks like. Actually, so hold on. Let's shoot down. All right. So in this one, it's going to be really hard for people to tell what's going on here. But yeah, there's like no uniques that are. Where are the unique ones? Hold on. Yeah, this is all chalk tonight. I mean, not that I wouldn't like to have any of these, but yeah, but this looks all chalky. Wow, like zillions of dupes all over the place. So nobody low owned got there tonight. It's pretty crazy.
No, tons of people. Hauser is low owned-ish. Lively.
Yeah, but those guys aren't even low owned. You know what I mean? Like
no, but if you get 30% guys and you're playing 90% of them,
No, but the actual lineup's got to score something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, but I'm
the actual lineup's got to not chop it with 30 people. That's the problem.
No, but that's what I was saying though. For the lottery, it's really hard.
Very hard.
And I don't necessarily agree with that entire system. It's like a good early playoff system that probably needs to be corrected for the finals. Like guys who literally can't and won't play unless
I know.
You just turn that guy into Jaden Hardy or something. At least he's going to play.
No, but the thing is that he did have Jaden Hardy, and he just didn't want to dupe himself. That's why probably went to somebody that couldn't play.
Okay, well, there's reasonable non-dupes that's winning. There's a solo winner right now in the 555.
Right. Yeah. And 555 is another animal, but yeah.
It's another animal in the max entry. That's why I was proud with one to get one through that was just unique, but it was like in midway through the third quarter, it was in fourth place. It had a chance to get there.
Yeah. So this one here, players. It is the 555. Oh God, how do I extend this? Okay. Live simulate profit. Oh, it's so funny. It says top fade. Yeah, so this guy's top fade is Tatum.
What?
Tatum.
Oh,
I think
fading
the guy that
Luka
rates
would
the
have
win,
been
the guy that rates the win right
most
now
fun.
is no. Now it's going back and forth. Now this guy's that's fading Luka. These guys are flip flopping here.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Man, you could really get into some of the weeds with this stuff.
Yeah, he sure can. He sure can.
It's probably good that I should get back into. I've started doing it like other things, not like this, but just trying to go through every historical winning thing like I used to, and just go like, what exactly, just thought process. Just process is all that matters. And man, it's crazy though if you really, Jesus, it's like poker now.
Yeah, and the worst is when you you think you have a shot, then you pull up this thing, you're like basically a rating to like cash for nothing or something. It's like,
I bet you the other night I was rated to cash for more than I cashed for.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because I had every out. I had every person. If somebody else randomly had a home run, I had that random guy somewhere in one of those lineups.
So this is kind of fun. So let's put next to this the actual lobby here, and see how it corresponds. So it looks like it's corresponding because there's only 2 minutes to go in the game, like pretty much with the standings right now.
Yeah.
And there's one like discrepancy, like Dr. Scoopy's rated higher, but I guess he's got much less left, so that's why they're rating him down here. But these are really interesting. This is really cool for like NFL, like after the 1 o'clock games,
Yeah.
when you can go in and really see who's got it, as opposed to guys just.
So what do you go to? You go to which thing exactly? Just
this is on Saber Sim, so you have to get it's got to be one of your contests. Okay.
Okay.
And within your contest, so like here's my contest, just click this thing, and this will show the whole thing. Like you go back into I'll go back to the baseball for a second. So let's say we're in the baseball tab. These are in my contests. So whichever one of these you click, like this is the 888 or whatever. You click this, and then it will launch this page for you here.
Oh, there was an 888 for baseball. I forgot. I wanted to forget.
No, it was called walk off home run, the 555 actually.
I'm just kidding. I somehow have a good lineup with a pitcher with -0.4.
Oh, there it is.
My Sanchez play did not work out as I was hoping.
Yeah, I was not doing well. I ended up having to late swap to among other things. He's actually doing good. The 6K guy for the White Sox. He was doing okay.
Oh yeah, I played him. I played him in the 250.
Oh, okay.
I liked him, but I played him with Peterson. I decided not to go. I did my thing. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, the Mets, Yankees, New York, 4-4.
It was all New York today.
Yep.
That's what got there, right?
Yep. A 4 looks like a 4-4 is going to do it.
I mean, in all fairness, it's still pretty early in the Dodger game. They're batting for the second time around the order.
That's true.
And Ohtani hit a home run already, so.
Okay, so 102. Wait, hold on. 102.98. 34 seconds to go. Dallas at the ball with the stupid home dark colors, which is like so annoying to me.
I hate it too. I don't understand.
No good. Rebound.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Oh, it's going to be Boston ball. That'll do it. After all that, they're going to get
shoving Horford out of bounds.
Dude, you had a good man. If Dallas could have gotten back into this by winning this game, that freaking parlay of yours would have been freaking legendary.
Now, it was a good idea, and it was. By the way, I hit the other idea with the same person, although he, now was vowed to me he's not going to do the same thing again. But we did it with the NFL thing, and I think that there's money to be made in some of those things. It is kind of a bummer though. Like honestly, at the beginning of the game, I actually was like thought for a minute that this is going to be hard without Porzingis for them. I just realized there's just too many good basketball players against a team with really just relying on two guys and then a 20-year-old, and like Lively is probably their third best player in reality, and he's 20. And Luka is not himself. He's banged up for sure. It's just, it's one of those, if they sneak past and if they somehow would have got this one, yeah, maybe. You have the best player. You just have a player who's banged up. And by the way, Tatum, like, if you want to talk about who's been the best player in this series, it's been Drew Holiday. It's not even close.
Yeah.
He should be a landslide winner. I think he was 60 to something to 1 or whatever to win the MVP of the finals. Something ridiculous. And then he was even still like 12 to 1 after the first 2 games. And he was the best player in every single podcast. Everybody I've listened to has said that man is clearly the MVP of the finals.
Who?
These are the people who have votes for the actual MVPs. So I'm not saying they have votes for the finals MVP because they can't say that if they do.
What's going to be? Well, who do you think's winning?
I just think Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown have been the 2 best players in this series.
Well, that's clear. I think Jaylen Brown will get it though.
Maybe. I mean, Drew Holiday was the best player in the first. Jaylen Brown had a terrible game, and Drew Holiday literally was the best defender on everybody. And he guarded Kyrie when Kyrie was hot, and he guarded Luka the rest of the time whenever they came back.
I don't know about this. So I have this NBA. I'm watching this NBA Unplugged broadcast with Kevin Hart and these 3 idiots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
What, you're just anti that? What does that mean, though? What don't you know? You know,
I don't know if I'm down with this whole thing. I think I like the regular telecast better.
So no, me too. I'm always in on the regular telecast, but I do sometimes think it's funny with like when it's like Garnett and LeBron and Barkley because he's not a part of ESPN, you know.
Yeah, but it's almost like I don't know. You ever watch Mystery Science Theater 2000?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. It's not, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's kind of like making fun of the game, sort of, and they're not real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, I heard that the Manning stuff was really good. I didn't watch any of that this year.
When
Peyton and Eli Manning do their thing.
Oh, it's great. It's really good because they're good. Like,
really good.
First of all, Eli's surprisingly good, but like Peyton is just incredibly natural. Like at being like he's like meant to host a room with like a few people. You know what I mean? Like he's perfect at it.
Right.
And he's hilarious. He's actually really, really funny. And he's got a great
I want to springboard off of that and do. I'm going to talk about something completely unrelated to sports, only because you brought that up. And then we'll do a lineup build for the PGA. So this idea that like there are people that can just kind of like just command a room and just always like just do whatever is like it's actually kind of amazing to me. I was about 6 weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. I went to Florida for this kind of this Caddyshack golf tournament thing. Bill Murray and the Murray brothers run this thing like every year in St. Augustine, Florida, at the World Golf Village, and they have a tournament, you know, with like a lot of music playing. It's not all too serious, like kind of like in the spirit of Caddyshack, sort of. And then they and there's like a Caddyshack restaurant that's basically all like a testament to not necessarily the movie, but all like the Murray brothers stuff. Like they all like Bill Murray movie pictures up, Bill Murray, whatever, like and John Murray with and all the stuff he did, and it's actually it's really nice. Okay, and you know it was interesting because like Bill Murray himself, you didn't see him all too often, right? Like he's kind of old now, right? Mm-hmm. So you saw him walking through, and if you saw him, you almost felt bad like walking up to him, you know, like it just felt like I don't know. He looked like an old man. You know what I mean? And I wasn't depressing, but listen, he's old. He's entitled, right? And nobody really wanted to come and talk to him. He kind of like stayed to himself, whatever. Okay. And then there was this guy that and put that aside for a second. And then there was this guy that we were talking to. They had this big concert every night in like the tent with all these kind of like country singers and bands, like really amazing stuff for like 2-3 hour concerts every night. And there was this guy watching the show with us that a friend of mine recognized him sort of, but we didn't really know quite who he was. Like these random celebrities were at this thing that we didn't recognize for like a while. Like John Rocker, the guy that used to be on the Braves, like he was there. Like these kind of like weird like guys kind of hanging around with. So we're talking to this one guy, and we thought we knew who he was. Not really. We're like, where are you? Where we know you from? And he eventually, oh yeah, I act a little bit. He was actually in First Blood like 100 years ago, among other things, as like a bit part. He had like 100 different little character actors roles. And he says, yeah, and I do some music or whatever. Really quiet, just sweet, nice guy. We're just talking. Maybe he's like 65, 70 years old. We were just like kind of talking to him, whatever. And then they had this concert go on, and then this guy that we were kind of hanging out with the next day, like got up on the stage and like was performing, and it was like he was a completely different person. Like we were talking to him kind of like off like stage or whatever, just like as a normal person. And it was some quiet, like, whatever guy. And he got on the freaking stage, and all of a sudden he just owned like the whole fucking room, and just and I'm like, oh my God, how is a person able to just turn that on, like just like that? And then, of all things, when we thought the whole concert was over, whatever, Bill Murray came up onto the stage and performed like 8 songs like he was fucking Bruce Springsteen, with like unlimited energy, like getting the crowd totally into it. And it was like some of these like entertainers and like public guys, you turn their freaking shit on, and it's like unlike anything you've ever seen before, So a lot of respect for people that can do that. So I don't know what I was talking about, but I was you talking about.
That's amazing. Sorry, my internet cut out for a second.
You're talking about Peyton Manning. Meanwhile,
that's amazing. No, my internet cut out for like a half a second.
Meanwhile, so the Celtics won, right? Okay. All right. So let me take one more quick look at the baseball, which is a disaster. So
what was hilarious to me though about Dallas's game plan? I just want to point something out. I was watching this game really closely. I was watching it, and also I watched like parts with my son and stuff. Like, I don't understand. They tried to they changed their whole game plan, their whole offensive attack to try to isolate and get against Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser's a really good defender. He may not look like one, like his physical presence. He's an excellent defender. Excellent. And they tried to attack him, and I don't think it worked one time. I watched like 9 possessions in a row of them going one-on-one, either Luka or Kyrie, and never once did it work. It was crazy.
Okay. So, first of all, as I suggested, there were some of these ownerships that were just kind of ridiculous, but they've also, as I've suggested, they kind of evened out a little bit.
They tightened up.
They've tightened up. So just to kind of let's go over some of the numbers, and let's go over before I run stuff like what my presumptions are. Let's talk about like ownership first. So I'm going to rank everybody by ownership before I run this again. And this, I have to tell you, I think that my ownerships are pretty freaking tight this week. I got Scotty at 36%, and then Xander and Morikawa at like 23-24. I think that's gonna hold. Bryson DeChambeau, when he was showing at 4%, we knew that was a joke, right? So
that was a joke, yeah.
So I got him at like 15, and then the guy who is I still have projected as being kind of lowish owned. I don't want to say lowish, but Terrell Hatton is 11. I thought he was going to be higher, but I'm going to leave this projection for now. Let me bring up 2 guys that I have rated really highly. That
I like what you mentioned. Can I piggyback on this for 1 second? Because I think it's interesting. Like, so I ran 2 different builds, okay, and I'm playing 150 in the $5 and 150 in the 15 for $1 million or whatever.
Yeah,
obviously you have to get weird and stuff with that.
Right.
So I decided I'm gonna make 50 lineups with the systems and everything, and then put like a percentage of a few players that I like. And so I ran that on Monday, and I put that in multiple lineups. And then I ran another one, after we did everything late today, and I changed a bunch of my I want at least 30% of this. I want 25% of this. I changed a lot of my personal things, and I ran it again. And I wanted to get 2 different variations. I always thought, like, if you win the $1 million, you should win the 100,000 also. That lineup should be in the $5 if you're playing it in that tournament. I really think that the way that like you do things, and the way that like it's important to try to have the best odds for each individual tournament. I just tried something different by trying to do it early in the week based on the early projections. What I found is that my builds were being very chalky, and the way that the builders were getting different was by leaving like 3,000 on the table, which I think is totally a fine strategy. But the weird part is like guys like Bryce show up like 50% in those, even if I put like 10 to 30%, it would be like, no, we want 50% of him because he was showing up as like a 4%, 5% owned guy. And it's just interesting to see how the week changes, but nothing has really changed when it comes to golf. Same thing with football. Maybe there's something that happens during the week in football, but in golf, nothing's really changed.
No.
So that early perception, trying to bank against it, which it wasn't really, I was sort of more testing, but like trying to bet on what the early beliefs are versus the late beliefs is an interesting, like, theoretical concept to me when it comes to especially golf. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just so you know, I mean, what you were talking about is something that I do in MMA. When it comes to building my 150, and I do this when I do the live builds for MMA, is even though I have access to the sims and I respect them, I don't do all 150 from the sims. I'll actually, like you said, I'll take like say 50 lineups and I'll put them aside. And those 50, I'll just put, those are just going to play the guys that I like. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Play the guys that I like, the F the projections one, you know, or whatever it is. And just build 50 lineups out of those. All right. And then I'll build another 50 using the sims with a certain type of setting, and 50 still using a different type of settings to get like a different type of portfolio. And I think that, listen, I don't think it's optimal, but I think it's definitely healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of down with that. But I will say, and I'm going to build another one, but here's some of the work that I've done. I built lineups with like 3 different settings for Saber Sim using the Sims, and I also use 2 other sim products that I like to use also, and you did get a lot of variation of how the lineups distributed, but not as much as you think. The guys that I'm really getting just a ton of, no matter what I do, are Morikawa, Straka, and either Xander or Schauffele, but probably both. You know, when I say both, I don't mean necessarily
Xander or Schauffele, yeah.
But like those are the core guys in my shit. You know, Scheffler and Xander and Morikawa and Straka. Now, again, depending on where I go, you know what I mean? It depends on how much I have them. But those are the main guys. And the other guy that I am just really just starting to get a ton of, regardless of what I do, is the Bezadenhout.
Yeah,
so,
I'm with that play. Though.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. And like right now, for example, like I just have to decide of which build I want. You know, they all make sense to me, but one of them has 84% Morikawa, and maybe I do decide to go that route. You know, I don't know. I'm okay with it if I just, you know what I mean. If I decide to do it, I know what I'm rooting for. That's good news, right? And yeah, it's sort of uncomfortable to have as much Straka as I think I'm going to end up getting, but you know, he's going to be popular. And if he's going to be popular and you think he's a good play, one way to freaking overcome the popularity is to just jam him like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't mind that.
I worry like just about Straka, just with like, I actually have a lot of him, and the same thing with me. I mean, he's an 18% of my lineups, which I guess is not but it's a pretty big number. And he's probably in 20% or higher of my buy-ins. But I started trying to get off of him like consciously, because I had like 35%, and I just thought like he's not great around. So around the greens is a weird thing at this course, apparently. And he's just not been good in those types of situations before. He's good direct to line contact, but like, I don't know why, other than the fact that he's 6,500, he's been really good lately. It feels like an overestimation of him. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like there's just so many guys in the 6K range that like I was able to, whatever, I still have 18% of them, but I wanted to whittle down that and consciously go play guys like Denny McCarthy instead, you know, guys like Harris English instead. There's just no reason. He's been really good, but Billy Horschel, all these guys are right there in that same price range, and Adam Hadwin, and same with Bezadenhout. Like they're just all in that price range. And I'm just like, okay, I'll just take my chances on these guys. And I was listening to some of what Rick said, and he was talking about like how there are guys who definitely have a plan for the course and a plan for everything, which you think every guy would. But there's guys who have it more than others. And I have less of him than I thought I was going to end up with. But I really think that Victor Hovland is like, if you're not going to bet him to be at the top, like maybe you just like, if you want to fade him fine, and then just bet him to win, because he can legitimately win this tournament. Scotty Scheffler he's like one of the few guys Scotty Scheffler could play well and that could still beat him, you know? And meanwhile, I don't understand why we're like, I have probably half the field on Rory, like just in case, but I thought he was going to be overlooked. And why is he getting 20%? Like somebody's got to tell. I understand he's been good at U.S. Opens
because he's Rory McIlroy and everybody's playing this week. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't make sense though to me exactly.
On FanDuel, I mean, I will say that I ran something on FanDuel, and I don't know exactly why that is. You know, I'm gonna run it again just for the hell of it. But like in my FanDuel builds, I was getting like almost zero Scheffler. I was getting like 6% Scheffler, and almost all of the Xander. Like I'm getting like, you see this like 86% Xander. So what's kind of an interesting thing from a portfolio perspective is that like right now I have on FanDuel just like all kinds of Xander and very little Scheffler, and also just kind of like with the field of Morikawa. But on DraftKings, I'm like Jam City of Morikawa and kind of with the field on Scheffler. But I also have like Scheffler in like all my big buy-ins, I think. Right. On DraftKings. So I'm kind of okay with kind of mixing my exposures from the different the different sets. But
I think with golf you really should be like, if this was NBA we were talking about and there's a play we feel good about, I think if you're playing two big lineups, you want those couple guys in those lineups or whatever, you know what I mean? But if you're playing a golf tournament, and even with Scotty Scheffler, like he's not in my biggest DraftKings buy-in. He is in my biggest FanDuel buy-in. He's in the one big one I played over there. But it's because it's easier to maneuver, and I think that the field will feel the same. That he's going to be a little bit less owned because it's not quite as easy to maneuver. And then I thought about like, who are the guys who you'd be scared of like winning the tournament and not having enough exposure, and let's get overexposed on those guys. So those guys for me were Oberg, were Fitzpatrick. Way over on Fitzpatrick. I'm like almost 3-1. Sam Burns. Gross as it is, I have 10% of Cam Young because now a guy who can win or top. I mean, he came in second 2 U.S. Opens ago. Came in second in two majors in a row. And then the other big one for me, I'm just looking for my exposure here, is I really am going to live and die a little bit with Brooks, Fleetwood.
Hey, you made a funny there. Live and die. That was pretty good.
Live and die. Oh, nice. I could have said live in PGA or do something.
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And John's asking a question in chat. Like, it's a good question. I'm definitely thought I would be way above the field on Cam Smith. I understand Rick's take on it. I'm looking at his ownership below 10%. If that's really possible, I think you got to have twice of it, minimum. Like,
I'll tell you something. I will tell you something else. Is that, you know, what you said when we just started building this is very sharp in a kind of a funny way. With respect to golf, like nothing really changes. In other words, I was thinking about what you had said, is that their stats are what they are, right? They compare the same way, you know, whether you compare them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, right? It's the same comparison. Right. It's not like there's like a different lineup, like in baseball or basketball.
Right.
It's not like the weather changes really. You know, yeah, you could, if you want to get technical, like you have the wave stuff, whatever. But the numbers and the analysis really shouldn't change between Monday to Friday. Okay, like once the salaries come out, nothing of a golfer's profile is going to change from midweek. But so then what happens is that what should be the ownership on Monday, though, is not the ownership on Friday, because during the course of the week, like all this like steam happens, and people just kind of just start liking guys a little bit more, and the projections really don't move too much during the week, but the ownership does,
Right.
Just because again, people just get mentioned more, and people get like ultra confident in it. So,
and by the way, sometimes the projections do move based on that people in overconfidence, and
I'm a little bit. I mean, that's actually very disingenuous if that would happen. But
I mean, to be honest, it is disingenuous, but it's exactly what every site does. I'm telling you what they do. I'm not saying this is a theoretical thing. I'm sorry, but that's true. Like they have to be doing that. But I do think that it's an interesting. Golf is the most interesting with this, along with NFL. It's similar in that sense. But there's a lot of steam and a lot of stuff that happens. The difference with NFL is like that guy might get like 5 more snaps, your wide receiver minimum cost guy, because of how much of the fans and the media are directing, hey, we got to get Jameson Williams on the field. You know what I mean? He's our biggest target. But in golf, nothing's changing. You're still going out there and playing the course. All we hear is, so here's what I've heard. Wyndham on Monday was annoyed by how fast the greens were. Okay, so that just drives his ownership down, which it already was going to be down anyway.
Right.
Little things like that is what you hear. You hear, but it's weird though, because you hear Tiger is like, oh, we went out there and Tiger shot better than any of us did. He was better than everybody. Doesn't change his ownership any, which is odd because you'd think that would be the most likely guy to change, but it's the exact opposite. Everybody believes in the narratives that suit somewhat of their concept.
Yeah.
That's the part with golf that I think is the most like fascinating from like a game theory perspective, because that's really what it is.
So I just reran the FanDuel stuff, and now I am getting Scheffler. So I'm glad I redid it. So I'm getting like 40% Xander, 37% Scheffler, and 30% Morikawa. If I went Min Uniques 2, really wouldn't change anything too much. I'd be getting maybe a little more Sahith. So we're gonna go with this.
What do you think about Scheffler being 3-1?
I mean, he always wins, so I don't know what else to say.
I know it's like the thing. People were like making fun of it, and I'm like, but like he just wins.
I mean, literally, that's all he does is win. I mean, like,
and like if he doesn't win, it's like a really bad like.
Yeah, if he doesn't win, it's because he got arrested in the dead of night. I mean, like,
yeah, and 4 missed putts inside of 5 feet.
I mean, seriously,
just randomly happened. You know what I mean? And he still like is second place. You know?
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but like you'll be playing around, and it'll look like he's about to freaking withdraw, and he's like in 4th place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's.
But you know who was the original Scheffler with that was Rahm. Rahm was the one who came off. He had a 9-stroke lead going into the last day or whatever the hell it was. And he came off and they said something to him during the pandemic. And he was like, he buckled his knees. He held it. It looked like somebody had died, but it turned out he had COVID. So he had to withdraw on Sunday and he had like a 9-stroke lead. And then there was a big or a huge, lead, whatever. He was still on every winning lineup. But it was funny that that for a minute they were debating whether or not they're like, oh, are they going to cancel his lineups? And they're pretty clear about, you play on DraftKings, it's whatever you've played. It doesn't really matter if you withdraw and it doesn't count as a tournament for you. It just matters if you played.
Yeah, I got like 3rd in the monster on FanDuel that week with Rahm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, because he had like a 400-stroke lead. I mean, like it's like,
yeah. It's so funny though. Just to speak to another thing that's interesting about DFS to me that occurred to me today. Like, I've had a bad DFS day so far. Like, I didn't, I haven't. I'm like I might even make money, and it's mostly because I played 555.
Yep.
Where I have a tiny bit of edge, maybe. And that, that makes up for now all of my losses in the lottery, now I am a little bit ahead on those. You know what I mean? Like it's and you can it just goes back to like the way that I used to bankroll manage instead of trying to hit home runs all the time. Like just like playing the 2 to 3 entries and the 3 entries and the single maxes and whatever. Sorry, single entry and 3 maxes. I just think it's like it's a smarter way for new people to play. And I wish that more people and more of us were like cool with that. The problem is it doesn't pay the same, but it's still like it's a really good test and it's a really fun way to play. And it also gives you a better chance to actually like get money back. It's really hard to win a lot of money. It's hard to even make profits if you're playing every lottery, unless you're doing 900 things like Sheets. Look at what he's doing right now. Can you guys do that? Like, I can't do that. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I'm just basically assigning my lineups to my contests.
Oh, okay.
This is literally nothing. This is nothing. I mean, like,
yeah, that part of it.
But just I'm used to it. That's all. I mean, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is clicking at this point. I mean, like we did all the work to come up with the exposures we want or whatever it is. This is just literally entering stuff.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the Angels are putting it to the freaking Diamondbacks here. They're 7-0.
I know. I got the wrong LA.
Yeah. Oh, Dodgers aren't doing anything.
I don't know. Tony hit home run. I don't even.
Dude, meanwhile, the freaking Cannon 21 outs through. Yeah, but I can't believe he's not going to get the win. He gave up a run. He's got 24.75 fantasy points.
Oh my God! Look at that.
And he's going to get the loss.
And I played him with Peterson.
Like
exclusively. I didn't even go for the pivot. It's such a stupid thing because it's what everybody does. Like my whole life, all I learned from DFS, every show, every single thing is this is the pivot off of this guy. This is the pivot off of the chalk. This is the thing. And I was like, no, like, why can't I play that guy with the chalk cheap guy? You know what I mean? Like, so I always was on that realm of it instead of sometimes like varying. And I wish I would have tonight because that would have been nice.
So this is going to be the one swipe for all the cheese here. The Utica, who obviously needs the money, is going to need Nick Shanwell to get anything in his last at-bat, whenever that is.
No. He's awesome, by the way, this kid. These Angels actually have, like, young talent. It's so weird. When Trout – do you know what's weird about, like, baseball versus other sports? Like, nobody's going to measure, like, the Angels' record without Trout, but it's pretty good. It's actually, like, better.
But then you got the Fiji-born with all kinds of swipes. So he's
– oh, God, too many, that guy.
So he's 18 points behind. He's got the whole Angel armory here. And they've got –
Joe Adele hit a home run. God damn it. He literally – so when I found – somebody wasn't in the lineup earlier. I don't remember who it was. And it switched me off of the Dodgers 4-4 with the Angels. And Joe Adele was like one of my guys. And I knew he'd be no owned. This guy just hits home runs every – like he's going to hit 35 home runs this year. And nobody has ever played him except for you. Like this guy. Born.
Oh, here we go. So Neto with a single and an RB. Where's single and RBI? So he's going to move up. There goes Fiji-born, new favorite. Look at this. And of course, there he is, first place, Fiji-born. Let's go.
Just wait till the Dodgers score like 10 runs in the next 3 innings, and then it won't even matter.
And then Utica, yeah, he needs more entries.
No, then I come back and win with a negative 0.5 because the one thing I was very clear on was that obviously Bryce Miller was the best pitcher on the slate, and he went nuts.
How many end up having?
He's got 30 now, but he's still going.
And he's getting the win. Oh my God!
Nice. He's eligible for the win. Hopefully,
he's eligible for the win. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cannon. What does Bryce have? He's got 29, and he's still pitching. I guess, like you said.
Yeah.
Is he pitching? Let me just see.
I don't know if he's in actually right now.
I'm watching. No, he's out. That can't be him, right?
No.
I don't think he's still in anymore.
He's got dude, that guy is really good. Like,
yeah, no, different pitcher.
He had like so many bad matchups in a row, and
Oh my God, Austin Voth. He's actually in the league still.
it's baseball, by the way. When you say that, like, just so you know, they're always still in the league.
They're
Like,
always still in the league.
there are guys who will be gone for 10 years and they come back, and I'm like, no, that's the same guy. Miguel Andujar is killing it right now.
It's the same Andujar, huh?
Yeah, it's the same guy, bro.
Oh, I thought it was it was the Andujar for the pitch for the Cardinals back in '82.
No. I'm talking about the Andujar for the Yankees.
Oh, okay. Oh, from the Yankees?
Yeah.
That Andujar? Oh my God.
Yeah. He's playing for the A's. It's been like 10 years.
Is John Wetland still pitching?
You know what's going to happen is Yasiel Puig will someday come back and win his MVP that he never got. The poor guy with the worst story ever. I love him so much.
Is he the guy? Did he disappear?
No, he's all right. He's playing somewhere overseas and hitting like 500.
There are a couple of athletes. There are a couple of athletes that legitimately disappeared.
No, he was owned by the mafia. He had to do so. He basically had to do it with the Mexican mafia to get out of Cuba, and they got him a boat. But they got like 90% of his earnings for all of his life, and they also had to decide everything he did. It was like it's a horrible situation. Like, honestly.
Oh, they took. By the way, they took this guy's. They took some of FJ's points somehow.
He's got plenty of innings left. He's got the whole.
It's plenty of innings left. Yeah, that's true. Oh, they rolled back Neto. They didn't give him something.
See, this is.
There's a thing.
He's in first.
Now he's in first again.
Or fifth. No, okay.
Yeah.
He'll be in first by the end of the
because I think were they like reviewing that Neto play somehow?
I don't know. Maybe that's probably what it was actually.
Yeah, they got Moniak up here.
Yeah, this is not like last night for baseball for me. Jesus.
Middle six. So that's got to. No, I think that he's not in first. I think this is where he is, but he's got 9.
He'll be in first in a minute.
He's got he's got the 7th, 8th, and 9th, right? He's got all these guys. Yeah, but he needs 9 points. That's not that easy, is it?
He's got 1, 2, 3,
They're
4,
all on the
5.
same team. They're 5 on the same team.
Yeah, so he's got at least 7 more at bats.
Yeah.
Probably 9. If he can't get 9 out of 9, you know what I mean?
Against the bullpen.
It was like me when I needed the 6 from the 4-4 with the fucking Pittsburgh stack of the Dodgers for 150K.
Well, that guy had the Adele, among others.
Of course.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, all they do is print freaking fantasy points now that Trout's not there. It's like crazy.
It's amazing. And they're always cheap. It's weird because
these guys are and they're all 2% owned today.
They hit like 190, but they have like the 4th most home runs in the major leagues. Like, that's what you need. Home runs.
It actually is a little bit freaking annoying that Gleyber Torres can actually get there at 16% ownership. You know what I mean? Like,
well, did you see the Yankees ownership today? It was in the 250. It was 48% Judge, 44% Soto.
Stanton was 20 in the lottery.
56% or whatever the hell it was of the lefty from the Mets. It was literally like it was like a bad cash game lineup. It was gross.
Wait, let's see.
This is like the only time I've ever been cashing for more than you when we've done one of these.
Oh, this is like a horror show today. Yeah, so in the 555, let's see some of these ownerships like you're saying. Well, first of all, Hishbu. Let's look at some. Yeah, when that Hishbu's lineup, it's like he's got the Mets and the Angels. Let's go. That's the end of that.
That ain't losing.
Everybody under 10%. Have a nice day. Right?
And you got the chalk spend ups at pitcher who hit. So tough.
And this guy's got the 5-manner. He's 9 behind him. He's got the five Angels.
Lodolo pitched really well too. Should have gotten more.
Oh, but Hishbu's probably going to get the Miller win, or maybe we'll see how that goes. But all right.
Oh, by the way, I have Batia in one of my giant buy-ins. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and on FanDuel, he's really cheap over there, and also like it's the kind of course I could see him doing like well enough. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. You getting that out?
Yeah. So I'm done. I did the FanDuel thing. I don't really feel like watching 17 at bats from the Angels. Ooh, is he gonna be out? Oh, yep. So
unless we had a sweat though, if we had a sweat, it might be more fun.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
But that's okay. So everybody, good luck tomorrow in your golf. Hope it gets off to a good start. You know what we can do before we do? Let's take a quick look at the slate tomorrow. That's what I can do. Hold on. I like doing that actually. All right. So first of all, there's 4 games at 1, and then 6 games at 7. Let's see what these 1:00 games look like. All right. We have Atlanta, Baltimore. That could be a preview of something. I don't know. Lopez against Irvin. Not looking so hot.
Feels good for Baltimore.
You have Nestor Cortez chalk day. So it's going to be the Nestor Cortez, Lance Lynn, with the Detroit stack against Corbin. That's going to be probably the.
Yeah. So I would negate it by going just
play Atlanta or something.
I think Mitch Keller is the best option on the board.
Mitch Keller, that's possible too.
And then I think that you play Baltimore and Detroit.
Yep, that sounds about right. Let's see what the main slate looks like real quick. In the main slate, we have Joe Ryan against Oakland. Has Joe Ryan, by the way, has he ever gotten there?
There's statistical evidence that he has once gotten there, but we don't know.
No, he definitely gets there when I don't play. That's for sure. And I see it. I see it like a million places. Yeah. But I'm the guy that gets the 11 against Detroit. You know, like that's fine. And then the 11 against the White Sox. You know, like those are mine. The 24 against the White Sox or somebody else. Yeah. So Joe Ryan is going to be a good play. Crochet. So Crochet against Seattle. I don't think I'm doing that. Nola against so there are some pitching. Look at this. We got Nola. No thanks, Yarbrough at 9K. No thanks, How 8,800 against Philly. Here's the chalk. Castillo at home against the White Sox at 8,500. That's going to be the deal.
Castillo at home against the White Sox. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's going to be him and Ryan, I guess. That's just what it is. It's like whoever's playing the Oakland or the White Sox. I mean, that's basically the idea, right?
Right. I think so.
If they're actually good, it's even worse. You know, it's like,
yeah. I think
we're playing Varland. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think we're gonna take a shot with Ryan or Castillo against these idiots?
Right. Exactly.
Who else is up pitching here? Canning. All right, Canning is 5,000.
I know, but he's worth it.
I mean, you definitely get what you pay for, right? I don't know. He's got a 20 here and at 17 here. I don't know. Ugh. He has like a perfect game, doesn't he?
I actually do think that's like worth considering. I don't think he doesn't have a perfect game. Oh, in his career. I think he might have in his career had one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, I mean, like 26 people have thrown one. That's a big deal.
Sheets, do we think that for sure tomorrow the first thing when you print the biggest golf difference in ownership, I think it's going to be Cam Smith.
Well, you know what? That's a fun thing to do. So let's look at, because I'm not going to change these ownership projections. Let's pull up my ownership projections and let's predict this. Let's see which is going to be the most off of all this. So what do I have for Cam Smith, for example? What's his price?
87.
So I presume I don't. Where is he? I don't even have him here. Wait, where?
Hold on a second.
we're gonna find him. 8,700. Yeah, I have him at 6.5% ownership. So you're saying that's going to be a little light? Ooh, no win for Bryce Miller, by the way. Oh, no way. He did another one, did he? Oh, it's just highlights. Okay. Bobby, let me know when you're back. But Lewis Roberts just beat Bryce Miller out of a win. Yeah, so Bryce Miller will not get the win, by the way.
Oh, they tied it up.
Luis Robert hit a tying one in the top of the ninth.
We're gonna have to start stacking.
So you're suggesting that these three probably would be the ones that are more owned than we thought. So I have 5% for Cantlay, 6% for Wyndham, and
I didn't say anything for Cantlay. I think Cantlay, that sounds right.
And 6.5 for Smith.
I think Cam Smith will be 15% owned in higher buy-ins.
In the higher buy-ins.
I might be wrong. Like I could just be off with this. I've heard too much outside of Rick. And are people really going to get worried from Live Tour numbers when a guy who we keep seeing this, he comes over, and he struggles with the Masters and finishes 6th. Like I don't think that he's going to be unowned. I just don't.
Well, I will get into the weeds with you on this one for a second. So I will say this, that I'm just going to read you some ownership projections. Like I'll pick like 6 of them. Only one has them over 10 at all. Most places have them somewhere between 3 and 7 or so. So, and this is for the lottery, like you said. So it's possible that that he's higher in the. So what you're also suggesting, I guess, is also possible that he might be one of those guys where the discrepancy between the lottery and the Mega 8 or whatever is higher.
Yeah, I think so.
The other one that I think is going to be higher is well, where do I have Straka? I mean, I have Straka at 14. I don't think he could get. Can he? Did they play him over 20% in the 888?
I think there's too many players in the 6K.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, why you can play Henley or Bezadenhout even? You know what I mean? Whatever.
I don't even know that he's going to be more owned than Bezadenhout. I think they're going to be similar.
You think so?
It'll be higher, but I don't think it'll be by much.
I think that.
And you have awesome pivots right there. You can play JT Poston or Ryan Fox, who's been freaking awesome, and you could play Steven Yeager instead of Bezadenhout. Like those are your pivots.
I think you'll see a gap in the with Morikawa. I think he'll be higher owned. He's just way cheaper than these other guys.
I think Morikawa is going to be 30% owned. I don't really think there's any question.
Right.
Except for the projections are just off. Yeah. I really think that. And it's just, if he was 10-4, then he wouldn't be, but he's 94. Sahith is going to be popular. I don't think Hovland will be as popular as people are projecting. I think Ober.
I don't know. I think he's exuding that stuff. You know what I mean? The Hovland is, his press, like you said, his press conference looks good. He's won this tournament. He's won the Open before, right?
Not this one.
And obviously not this one, but people like him too. I think he's going to get steamed.
I love him. I'm going to be over the field no matter what, so it doesn't matter to me.
I wonder what's going to happen to these other. Like,
I can't believe that Rory is really going to end up being like the second most popular player. I really can't. I love Rory. I wish the best for him, but like
I have him at 20%.
Okay.
Projected. That would put him like tied for 4th, 5th.
So behind like what, Xander and
Hideki. Yeah, Scheffler, Morikawa, and Xander above him.
Of course, Seager hit his home run. I did play him in a couple lineups.
Oh no, really?
His first game back in LA. You know he's going to do it. They love him. They probably gave it to him.
Probably stopped the game.
No, I'm serious. He's like our guy.
Andrew Vaughn, deep. Nope, to the wall. Burmester looks all right.
Burmester I like too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, again, this is why I mentioned that, stuff at noon is not like whatever. I barely am getting any of the Minwoo Lee after all that talk.
Yeah, I have a ton of Bryson. I have a ton of Brooks, but it is weird when we're talking about a very strange like rough to play out of. It's not like a thick rough. Even it's like a weird. So it's going to be weird. Like, and hitting it further, I think, is actually going to help. And I think people are underestimating that and saying around the greens. And I'm like, well, these guys, if they're around the greens on these short par fours, like that means they're up and down for a birdie instead of a bogey. Like they're going to go for there's no reason for a guy like Bryce not necessarily go for it, but just hit it within 50 yards,
Yeah. Anyway. Next, when's and the next NBA game isn't like in 2 weeks, probably.
No, it's on Friday, and it might. I don't think it'll be the end of this. I actually do think Dallas will win that game, but like, it's been pretty rough, man.
Dude, look at this. So the WNBA streets. I mean, the lottery, they're offering $20K for first.
Okay.
$20K for first, and the big one, the 333. It looks like it's probably like $7K for first or something because it's $21K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Thursday? I'll put stuff. I think I'll put stuff up for that.
See what's happening. I'll take a look.
I'm gonna be doing the first UFC. I'm gonna do the UFC breakdown tomorrow. Start looking at the NASCAR stuff for the weekend. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Who's this? Here's Shamwell. Shamwell struck out. Oh no, that's against the rules, I think. Let's see. Let's take another look at these lobbies here. I keep reminding myself how much I'm getting crushed. Let's pull up the baseball, right? Let's see. Let's pull up that 555 again. See how that's going. The Hishbrew is still in the lead. Miller's not getting the win though. So Kloss, what is Kloss of Heaven? So Kloss of Heaven is 9 points behind, and he's got all these. He's got the same swipes as everybody else, right? So he's got Adele, Nito, Rignifo, Schwandel, whatever, who just batted. Somebody else. Hishbrew also has most of these guys. He doesn't have these guys at the bottom. So the guy that
the only one who played him.
Kloss has different is Adele and Neto.
Okay.
And he'll get a shot. But he needs 9. It's not like he needs like 3. He needs 9.
Yeah, you get the Adele bomb.
Yeah, you get or you can get the even like a double or something. No, a double and an RBI for the next guy. Maybe that'll do it. Let's see the relay throw. What's going on there? This guy's still winning. Fiji Born still needs the 9 points in this one too. So he's going to need the net. It's going to be a Neto, Adele, Sweat, I think. And they both need 9. Okay. I think FG Born could do this without me. I'm going to crash. And I'll see you. You'll be around tomorrow at 12?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That sounds good, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man.